Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Flourish podcast with Dr. Tony Ingram, where you will hear straight from some of the best practitioners and leaders in wellness on how to take control of your family's physical, spiritual, and mental health, because we are all designed to flourish. Now, as a reminder, this show is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Nothing said on the Flourish podcast should be taken as medical advice. For your own specific medical advice, please always consult with your own healthcare providers. Now, today, we are bringing back Jennifer Massoud for part 2 of our conversation together. So if you haven't listened to part 1, stop this recording right now and go right back and listen to the first part of the episode. So just to remind you, Jennifer Massoud is a makeup artist with over 10 years experience in the beauty industry. She began her career with Estee Lauder, where she received training in proper skincare routines before becoming a MAC makeup artist at Nordstrom North Park. Jennifer's passion for her clients and love of makeup inspired her to establish Gen X Faces, which specializes in makeup for weddings, beauty, fashion, editorial, media, and education. Her company partners with some of the best-in-class bridal services in Dallas. Jennifer's work has been featured on Bravo TV and The Broadcast, in D Magazine, and in Grace Ormond Wedding Style Magazine. With experience in many cultures and makeup disciplines, Jennifer leverages her knowledge of skincare to prepare each of her clients for the wedding day. When skin is in balance, makeup looks its best and has the greatest longevity. Jennifer is a native of Dallas, is bilingual, and enjoys spending time with her friends, family, and her love of all things blue. So I hope you enjoy the second part of this episode.
I'm not saying I don't use retinol, okay? I'm just saying we have got to bring up critical thinking and don't just buy stuff. Because these companies are like, I have never seen companies come out with new products, and I don't even know how the R&D go to sleep at night, because we have to create new things all the time, and that's not good for skin. Skin likes consistency. Just like us, we need a schedule. We need sleep, right? And your skin needs to know what to expect.
For sure. For sure. So we didn't talk a lot about retinol yet, but you do use a retinol sometimes, or you use it
I do, because so this is where I joke about you got to pay to play. I'm not in the natural world. I love it. Do I reformulate my recipes to be less gluten-y, and am I using monk fruit instead of sugar these days? Absolutely. But I still love me some silicone and dimethicone on my face. So do I need a little extra chemical vitamin A every now and then? Yes. And I want to preface this also. We can't always take care of ourselves when we're younger. So I grew up in a very traumatic environment, and I love and forgive my parents because I did the work to do it. But what I didn't realize until I got older, Tony, was my mother wasn't able to teach me how to be a woman. So I didn't wash my face. I mean, I'm just throwing it all out there. I didn't know how to take care of myself. So by the time I was in college, I mean, this was a clogged, gross. I mean, you can look at pictures of me from my 30th birthday party, and this was before I figured out how to take care of my colon. I had cystic acne all here because all of this is gut, right? So sometimes you do need a little help to get over the hump, right? I'm never going to be 100% clean. I don't think it's possible personally. I don't think you should hold yourself to the judgment or expectation. So if I need help with my blackheads, I'm not going to go get a peel. I'm going to work on using an exfoliating toner. And every now and then I will pop some retinol in my T-zone, or I will do an at-home lactic acid peel. But again, very discerning about the acid from where I purchase it. I have a tribe that puts me on board with the right things, so I don't, because if I don't look good, why would you trust me?
It's very true. Very, very true. Oh, I love this so much. Okay, so I'm busy. I work a lot. If I have 5 minutes to put on makeup, what should I put on?
So it's funny you asked that. When I used to be on television, I'll have to send it to you. It's an older video. You got to dig for it, but I did my makeup in 5 minutes live. And so like you'll see me, I'll do all this with my
Awesome.
lipstick. But so
Yeah.
this is what I suggest. So if you've only got 5 minutes in the morning, moms, here's what I suggest. You'll buy an eye primer that's got a little bit of pigment to it. MAC makes some really good ones, or a shade stick, or just an eye primer. So you're going to buff that on and then let it set. Put what we call a transition color or a prime color, a matte skin tone color, 1 to 2 shades darker, and you're going to just buff it right here, back and forth with a windshield wiper. And then I put my foundation on. I'll throw a little waterproof mascara. While the waterproof is drying, I'll work on a little bit of brow, throw on some blush. Cream blush is amazing for just about everybody. And then a neutral lip, done and done.
Nice. Nice. That sounds amazing. I'm going to have to practice that with you because already I'm thinking, oh, yeah, you could do that in 5 minutes. That sounds like that would take me like 20.
No, I
Maybe
promise.
not,
It's
maybe
just
10.
technique. Yeah, yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
10. Okay.
And
Oh, I
remember,
love it.
there are no rules to makeup. That's what I'm saying. Like, yes, you need someone like me. But I'm still that person that believes every woman can wear a red lip. Every woman is beautiful. It's about finding you and then putting it here.
Oh, I absolutely agree. Absolutely. Okay, let's talk about products
Yes.
because I sent you some pictures of a couple of weeks ago of what I'm currently using. I have since added a few just because I was going to an event
Okay.
where I wanted like some special occasion. I needed to pick out some stuff fast and I wanted to add some zhuzh. So I want you to pretend you're a very judgmental person
Okay.
and tell me if my stuff is good, if it's cleanish,
Okay.
if it's well performing, and what you would use instead.
Do you want me to look up the photos, Tony, or are you going to show me?
I'll show you. I'll
Okay,
show you.
perfect.
And then we can always edit in the photos if we want
Okay.
the lovely folks at home to be able to see better. Okay. So, one of the first things that I put on is I have an eye pencil and a brow pencil, and they are both from Beauty Counter. They are very well loved because they're super, super short now. And all of the writing has worn off. So, how do you feel about Beauty Counter eye products or even just Beauty Counter in general?
Um, Although I'm a huge fan of certain multi-level marketing companies, not a fan of Beauty Counter. Don't like the product, don't like the selling aspect of it. When they first came out, they were pretty good in the game. And the other thing I want to tell you is if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If you like it, like I have been wearing double wear since 2006. I will never not wear it. It's so good.
Love it. You
Um,
just love it. Yeah.
yes, if I want to incorporate a little bit of live tinted into it, for some natural beauty, I mix
Mhm.
it in. But if you like the products, Tony, and they're working for you, stick with it. But can I find you better options? Yes.
Okay. Do you have a cleanish pencil that you like, or there are several that you like?
Um, I would say maybe what we should do one day is, because I can't quite pull them up in my head at the moment. Live Tinted is definitely one of my favorite cleaner brands, and I believe they just came out with some eye pencils.
Okay, cool.
Maybe we should go to Credo one day
Oh,
and
that'd be
shop
so
with you.
fun. Yeah.
Both Michael
And we
T
could
do
film it.
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that'd be fun.
I could do beauty concierge on you live. Maybe that would be fun. And
how
actually,
fun would that
Credo
be?
told me too, they'll let me teach a class there and In Beauty will support it. I just have to organize it. So it would be fun to have a clean beauty smoky eye night.
Yeah.
I have a course I teach called Beauty in the Brunch, where I'll
Huh?
have like women, they'll get a brunch together at one of their homes. And
Mhm.
then while everybody's sipping, eating, and drinking, I pick one of the women and I do her face for everybody. So everybody gets a lesson. One person gets the application. And then I go do the judgments by Jennifer and I get 5 minutes with each of them. And I tell them, keep this, throw this out. We go grocery shopping in their cosmetics bag.
Judgments by Jennifer. I love it. Judgments by Jennifer. Okay, my next must have. I always, always, always put on a mascara. And what I'm happen to be using right now is Pacifica.
Okay.
And this one is like a water resistant version of it. And I just do normal black. My mother told me that because I'm fairer, I should do a black brown. But then I started doing black and I just never went back.
Um,
Don't know
I
why my mother said that.
it's an old school beauty routine, right? Like the old school beauty routines still use Noxzema or they still use Dove soap. Like, but your mother's Dove soap is very different than our Dove soap. So cold cream, there's
True.
actually a clean cold cream that I actually recommend to people.
Mm.
I know it's from Alpen Beauty. I'll have to tell you about them one day. They're fabulous. They're out of Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Cool stuff. Um, I personally, because I emote so much, I have to wear waterproof everything on my eyes. Because I'm
Oh,
just
even your shadow is waterproof?
no, but I mean it's pretty long wearing, and then I wear
Oh,
a.
gotcha.
But if you
Maybe
like,
that's what I should be doing too, because I will tell you, if
it,
I'm like my work from home days, my Fridays, usually my makeup stays in place. But every single day at work, every single day, I always wind up with smudges on my eyelids from my mascara or my eyeliner, or I don't know what. Maybe my eyes are just more wrinkled and they're like rubbing.
no, you work around a lot of water, Tony. Think about it. Like, and then I don't know if that
I do.
I don't know if you're is it your ozone machine? No. I didn't know if there was something else in your office that produced humidity, but that's what I found with like most natural. I personally, the older I get, I can't do it. The only one that I have found that it's decently long wearing that's clean, Michelle turned me onto it. It's called Talk Mascara. And you can get it at Credo. It's TOK.
Okay.
Um, and maybe during editing, Michael can pull up a little image of it. But it's the only one I have found that's cleanish and decently long wearing. If you're
Okay.
having smudging issues, you could just be, I mean, you have really nice skin and you take care of it. So when you have really good skin, it will tend to produce sebum more. So you're always going to look radiant as you should. So it just might smudge on you more. We might need to
Yeah.
tune you up to waterproof products. But try the
Gotcha.
talk.
Okay.
We may need to get you a different type of primer.
Well, and so I don't use a primer at all. So you will have to introduce me to the world of primers. If I'm being really fancy or if I really want to try to get it to last longer, because I usually don't wear eyeshadow at work. But if I'm being fancy, I will take my mineral powder and I'll put that on my eyelids just to mat it out, dry it out,
No, no, no,
just so it's
that's
not as
good.
oily.
Yeah, that's an
Okay.
old school technique.
Okay, awesome. I'm not too far off. Not too far off. Okay, so next is my mineral powder. Um, Actually not next, but we'll go ahead and talk since we're talking mineral powders. I rarely, rarely, rarely use face foundation. Just because because I haven't found, I've never used the double wear that you like. And so I'll do a concealer and then I'll do powder over it. So this one is, I think I just got it because it was at Whole Foods.
Yeah, mineral.
Honestly, like if I'm being honest, and it's just a normal pressed foundation powder, and that's it. I have no idea what's in it. I just assume because it's Whole Foods, it's better than what I could get at Walmart or Target.
Yeah.
Am I wrong in saying that, or is that?
No, you're right. They're actually like Target and Walmart are actually picking up the trend.
Good.
But
Good.
I would still go to Credo.
Okay.
But yeah, everyone's kind of picking up on the trend. So some things are better than others.
Is Credo
Again,
a Dallas thing only, or are there many?
Credo, I don't know all the locations, Tony, but I know they've got a store in New York, I think, as well.
Okay.
Yeah, they're fabulous. I mean, I could just be
It's
in
good.
there. It's like
Our
heaven.
second highest city with our audience is New York. It's the Dallas area and then New York.
Really cool.
It's interesting. I'm not sure why.
It is fascinating, right?
Yeah.
If you like that mineral powder and it matches you, and you don't need to wear, again, you're not in my world. So, it
Well,
was
and I
like,
can't too because at work now, going out, going to church, something like that, that's totally different. But at work specifically, wearing foundation does me no good. In
yeah,
fact, half the time I don't even wear the powder because by 10 o'clock in the morning, it's all on masks that have been thrown away.
yeah.
And it all
Not
comes
good.
off anyway.
And you shouldn't have anything, if you have to wear the masks, you shouldn't have anything on your face because you're basically just rubbing it back into the skin.
Like pushing it in further.
And no, and you're beautiful, so you don't really need to have it on anyway. If you want a little concealer just to kind of, sometimes we all need to look more awake, even though maybe we shouldn't be drinking coffee in the mornings.
Girl.
Oh,
Or
I
in the
need to break up with
afternoon.
coffee. No, I know. No, it's okay. Laura muscle tested me and I was like, dang it. It's okay. But no, like it's not appropriate for your career at the moment to wear makeup. If you're going to a dental convention, a whole nother story, right?
Right.
So
Right.
a dust of powder won't kill you if you do it at work, but concealer first and then powder second is fun. In a perfect world, I'd love to get you in maybe a tinted moisturizer one day.
Mm.
Mineral powder. I just
Yes.
don't.
See, you
I
need
think
to show
powder
me
is
some that are good because I've tried tinted moisturizers in the past and I feel like I just haven't found a good color match and then it looks weird and then I don't like it.
We're gonna go to Credo one day with you.
Okay, fun.
It'll be
Fun,
fun.
fun. Okay, now you're talking about concealer. This is a good one because I feel like I probably do this. I probably put on concealer like everybody did in the 90s. Um, but I have no intention of stopping. So,
I think that's it. I love the honesty. Yes.
so what I'm using right now is Well People,
Okay.
um, BioCorrect concealer, and I found a match pretty easily. It seems to work pretty well. It stays on decently well, and I at least try to find stuff that's like paraben free, like super super junk free. So hopefully it's cleaner. But I get dark circles and I'm fair complected enough that if I lose 5 minutes of sleep, my my
Yes.
eye circles don't look all that great. And if I'm dehydrated, then they don't look all that great. And so I feel like a frequent makeup mistake of mine is the inverse raccoon look where I'm lighter under my eyes than
Yeah.
anywhere else because I'm putting it under my eyes. So set me straight. Is that a 90s trend? Does this make me an old lady? Does it make me Gen X?
Well, I would say I'm Gen X, so no, that's not a bad thing. But
Right.
I'll say this, instead of just doing the triangle, think
Mhm.
of your face as a diamond.
Okay.
So do this versus just this. Does that make sense?
Mm.
So when you're putting on your concealer,
Mhm.
there are a lot of techniques here, but you can put it here, but as we age, like, so for me, as you know, I'm a clincher, and clinching has prematurely aged my jowls because I have chipmunk cheeks. So sometimes when I put my blush on, I'll go back and dust a little bit of concealer here just to keep the eye moving upward. But but blending into my apple. It might be hard to see here.
Okay.
So what
Okay.
I'll typically do is, and then everyone's different. You have a prominent hairline like me. So I like to do just a little bit of concealer here, and then I'll have my foundation here, right? And blend it in there. So I've got a little, if I were to look into the sun, where would a spotlight hit me?
Okay.
Make sense? So that's
Yeah.
kind of how we teach how to use bronzer. Where does shadow hit you?
Yeah.
So lightness pushes things forward, darkness pulls it into the background. So if you're worried about the raccoon, just do a
Mhm.
diamond instead of a triangle. And then that means you can do a little down here, a little right here. Again, I got a Lebanese nose. I don't care if I highlight it. I do the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does that help?
No, that's awesome. Yes. And I
Okay.
do, my nose isn't Lebanese, but I have a very prominent,
I
prominent
love your
nose.
bone structure.
And so I will, so if I know that I'm not going to have a mask on a whole bunch, if I'm being more intentional with my makeup, then I'll actually put concealer on my nose because it kind of mats it out. And I feel like it is less prominent
Yes,
than not.
that's why I like the diamond,
That's
because
super smart.
it
Yeah.
just feels like a little flash of light in the center, and then
Yeah.
just make sure it's a soft blend.
Yeah.
So if your concealer is like a couple of shades lighter, then I
Mhm.
also suggest, and all you want to wear is concealer, tune the concealer down a little closer to your skin tone. So we have one for days where you want to be brighter. Color, we
Mhm.
can talk about color correcting. That's a whole nother conversation of technique, and also tools make a difference and your technique makes a difference.
Oh.
So I'm going to tell you one thing I see a lot of women do: flat brush versus fluffy, fingers versus brushes.
Mhm.
Flat brush is meant to pick up a lot of product and streak it on the face.
Okay.
Well, most concealers in today's world are pretty potent. Concealer's just concentrated foundation, let's be honest. So I like to use a fluffy brush because I will put down less product and get better coverage and less texture. So you just kind of buff it on,
Mhm.
and then you can pat any lines of demarcation that you see. So I would recommend tuning down if you're just going to wear concealer by itself on the days where you're semi-masked.
Yeah.
And then on the days where you do your powder and your concealer, then you can tune it up to brighten. And the good thing about your powder is, Tony, if you brighten too much, the powder will soften it.
Yeah.
Does it help?
Yes. That does help. Sweet. Okay, let's pivot just slightly because I saw in your notes that you would be excited to talk about makeup and beauty therapy as it relates to oral health. So tell me what direction do you want to take this in, or what do you want me to talk about first?
So this is what I discovered. I say it from a personal standpoint. First of all, I'm just being honest, Tony. I'm so blessed that I didn't realize how expensive dental care was. And I didn't realize, as a trauma survivor, like I told you, like both of my parents have $80,000 mouths because they destroyed their mouths clenching. And my dad was so embarrassed that he made my mom go get implants because, that's a recognition of the abuse, right? Her teeth look shitty. So, I want to hear two things from you. I was so blessed. If my dad hadn't paid for my dental care, I don't know what my teeth would look like right now. And I didn't realize how important a smile is to translating beauty. And like you said, a natural smile. And then also, so many dental products break our face out.
Yeah.
So when I say, and then like you, my dental hygiene was greatly affected by my background. And then once I figured out, I think taking care of your mouth is so important, but I have to be honest and admit that it's a luxury service. I mean, if I didn't have the money to come see you, what would I do with that cracked crown? I'm just grateful to have the money. So I'd love your perspective on that. How do we have a healthy mouth when dental care is so damn expensive? Because it certainly affects your face.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And our airways, our breathing, that affects our smile and the aesthetics of our face, our entire facial structure. But you're absolutely right. And that is something, especially having a practice that's more holistically focused. Um, because if you are someone who is eligible for Medicaid, then there are resources for you to get
Really?
dental work done.
I didn't know that.
But it's mainstream,
Mhm.
very mainstream. If you're someone in the Dallas area who has AIDS and HIV or HIV, there is a clinic just for serving those people, a dental clinic.
That's
Like
wonderful.
there are resources if you're okay with mainstream, but that that's extractions and dentures. That's
Oh,
not crowns. That's not veneers. That's for sure nothing holistic. You better believe they're gonna stick some amalgam in there versus composite if that's what they have available that day. Um, they're slapping fluoride on everything. And so it is absolutely important to me. And that's why I'm so passionate about honestly about growing practice so that through my practice, we can be able to have the access to do some charitable work for free. We currently have a program called First Fruits Fridays, and it was part of just my prayers on my morning commute when I had an office in Midlothian and was driving back and forth from Richardson. Um, and so, I had decided that when we opened Flourish, that we were going to incorporate First Fruits Fridays, where we would, because I knew that it would be a while before I would have money to give back to God. So at least I could give back some of my time and some of my labor. And so the first Friday of every month, right now we're doing free dental care quarterly. And then the other first Fridays, we try to incorporate some other community service just with the team. But I absolutely think that people deserve access to a certain type of care and a certain level of care. Um, and so my goal is that we take these First Fruits Fridays, which right now are fairly small. It's just who can fit in my office and the patients that we're able to see in a given amount of time. And I am hoping to be able to turn that into a nonprofit that can grow and be able to serve many, many, many more people. So you're absolutely right in that it is an injustice and it's a disservice, and we're trying. So just keep praying with us and pray for us that we are able to expand that the way that we want to expand it.
you're right. I didn't think about that. Like Sam, he works on veterans for free. Don't even get me started on the VA. I had no idea how I didn't even, my daddy couldn't serve because he had heart issues. But when I had to help veterans in death care and trying to get their DD 214s and realizing how little they're supported. So it was neat
Mhm.
to watch. Sam does something similar. And then I didn't read through all of your email, but again, the one where you were picking 5 families, and because I didn't think about what a blessing my dad did for me, setting me up with, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like you and Sam are having to help repair what I've lived through,
Yeah.
but what a blessing. I just, I can't put that in perspective what my dad did for me. My dad was the only man in his household where he was being cared for with dementia. He was the only person that had all of his teeth in his mouth, Tony. And like I was, because you ain't gonna brush an Alzheimer's patient's teeth,
Right.
right? But I was so impressed with how strong his bones were. And again, I didn't understand the mouth gut connection. I told you I kissed that guy and he smelled like a musty old house. Oh my God, you don't brush your teeth or you don't floss, And so I loved what you were offering because it didn't occur to me that you have families of decay.
Yes.
Like, I think you said that like you help the whole family if they can't afford it.
Well, I promise y'all this was not intentional, but you are plugging all of my things. So thank that is that one is not for free yet. That is
Okay.
a paid program for patients.
I misunderstood it.
But you're super smart. Like that will be something that we can add on to the First Fruits program at some point too. But no, that is because you're absolutely right. Decay is a family condition because the bacteria that causes cavities is a transmissible bacteria. Same thing with gum disease. That's a transmissible bacteria. So you got to get it from somewhere. And it's usually whoever you're sharing a house with, whoever's blowing on your food and giving you baby kisses and all that good stuff. So the email that you're referring to is our newest program called the Cavity Cure 90-Day Accelerator, where we are taking these families and we're going to take them through a program where it's because man, it just ticks me off so bad when people come in for their cleaning thinking that that's solving their problems and that's preventing decay and that's their preventive work. And the dental team also thinking that that's solving their decay and preventing dental work. It's not. It is not. The only time magic happens is if we can teach you what to do at home, if we can coach you on your diet, if we can give you the strategies to do what needs to be done at home. Because when we clean your teeth in 30 minutes, your biofilm is reforming.
Oh my God, we have got to talk about that because I didn't.
30 minutes.
So wait, Tony, are you saying, and if I'm getting off track, tell me, like, I'm going to just sound stupid, but again, I had one of the best and hardest lessons of my life when I turned 19 and I first went to college and I never took care of my teeth the way, again, learning, I wasn't taught, right? I just had to survive. And then I get back to Dallas after hanging out in college in Colorado for a second. And I went to culinary school and didn't have a good dentist, but again, I didn't know that dentistry could be just like all systems can be very taken advantage of, right?
Yeah.
And I think I had not 5 or 8 cavities. So like I literally would go to culinary school, get out, and then I'd have to go lay down in the chair and I would fall asleep. He had to do so many fillings on my back because I didn't understand. I didn't floss for 1 year. And I have so many teeth in my mouth. And so then like you, I didn't realize, trauma caused, I had very sensitive gums from the clenching and then everything, right? And
The systemic inflammation. Yeah.
oh my gosh. Or I didn't know that when I got to stop saying my colitis, when my itises were acting up, it didn't matter how clean my mouth was. My pipes were dirty.
Yes.
And like,
yes.
oh my gosh.
And so if your oral microbiome had been in balance and had been in a healthy place, then chances are when you moved away to school and if you had stopped flossing for a year, if your microbiome had been healthy, you could have tolerated that without getting a whole bunch of cavities.
Oh my God. You just blew my mind because after that moment, I was like, I will never, ever, ever not take care of my teeth. So I go 4 times a year because then I got taught about the margins. And then I finally found.
I know. Bless your heart. You know so much about dentistry just because you've had to be such a frequent patient.
And again, like you said, the blessing that I've been able to afford it because
That you could. Yeah. 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 So that's what I have always been, a teacher at heart, a coach at heart.
yeah.
I am a sit knee to knee, face to face kind of girl. I can help you with my words and my coaching and passing on knowledge so much more than I can help you by sticking my hands in your mouth and doing dental work. And so that's really what we're trying to shift, what we're trying to change. And so I don't know of any other program like this in the country so far. I hope more people copy me. And when I get some really good case studies, we'll show them so that hopefully other people will copy me.
Oh yeah.
But and that's where where the rubber will hit the road too, because we're going to do some really cool salivary testing before and after the 90 days so that we can make sure we are seeing improvements. We're doing pH testing at the beginning and at each in-person visit. We're including virtual visits where we're doing health coaching on gut health.
Oh my goodness, Tony.
And I know that this process will work so strongly that if we don't see results in those 90 days, if your saliva test isn't showing improvement, then I will personally work with every single one of those families for free once a month in strategy calls until they do.
Oh, Tony, you do God's work.
We're gonna make a shift. And
You're
the
already
only way I
making it.
know how to make that shift is one family at a time.
Yeah. Focus creates, the diversity.
Yeah.
And I mean, if I can ever help with that family, like if they ever have a type of graduation before and after, I'm happy to offer to come up there and do their makeup. Because
What a fun
your
idea.
smile is so, yeah, like I actually got to work with domestic abuse survivors once because you don't realize we all want to feel pretty, right? And how important is it if we can have nice skin and a nice smile, right? And
I love it.
so I am so glad to Tony, you are fabulous.
You're fabulous.
Oh my God, this is so much fun. I can't wait to do your makeup one day. And then I need to hear I don't know if you want this for the podcast, but your makeup trauma story is very common. I mean, I haven't heard it yet, but I appreciate your emotional integrity to be able to articulate that to me, that I'm not quite, I know myself and I've had an experience, Jennifer, and I know you do a great job, but I'm not there yet. That's
No,
one.
we can totally put that on the podcast. I I have no problem sharing that at all. So just to give everybody context, I had a photo shoot today, actually. And it was just a branding photo shoot. The team wanted some new pictures to use for social media. I hadn't had professional photos done since before we opened in 2019. And so it was time anyway, just to do some updated photos. And Jen and I had already been planning and coordinating this interview. And so she's like, hey, that'd be so fun if I could do your makeup. And I was like, yeah, that would be so fun, but not for this.
I love it. I love the honesty.
Because at the photo shoot that I did previously, and really several times, many times when I've had my makeup professionally done, I feel like I don't look like myself. And
Yes.
especially this last one. And so the photos that you see on our website, those were all done around the same time before we opened, before we, finished the website. And I will have patients who come into the office, well, especially if I'm in scrubs and my hair is all tied back and I have less makeup on. Patients will come in and look at me funny, like, oh, that was you on the website. Like, other people don't think I look like me either. So I know I don't look like me.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Yeah.
so I was like, for this, these are lifestyle type of photos. I want to look like myself. And so that means even if I do my makeup bad or incorrectly, I need to do it for this so that I look like myself. And that's my that's my background. That's my story. But I
Can I
still
ask?
want you to do my makeup because
No, no,
the
no.
technique, the skill that I don't have.
That'll be fun. It would be fun to like, it would be fun to like go shopping with you. It would be a day. We'll take our Friday. But
Okay.
it would be neat to also then, because that's what I do. That's really the whole beauty concierge thing. We can stretch it out over 2 days, but depending on the client, we go shopping and then we come home and do a lesson.
That would be so
With,
fun.
because I don't want you to have something you don't know, you don't feel comfortable with because you're not going to use it, or you're going to not
Exactly.
trust me because you're like, what in the hell did you just tell me to buy, Jennifer? You know what I mean? Because that's why I tell people, I'm like, if you hate double wear, you're not putting it on right. So,
Yeah.
well, can I ask you this from a makeup artist standpoint? Two things I've noticed. The marketplace is diluted, right? So everyone knows how to do
Mhm.
my job, but you're not me. You haven't been on local and national television and published multiple times and had to deal with all of the things.
Mhm.
So the marketplace is really diluted. You could pay $250 and get shit makeup, right? And then,
Mhm.
like you just said, we have people that care more about being a service provider is getting to know you. If my spirit's not in check, I can't read yours. And a lot of times you're in a position of authority, right? Just like you
Mhm.
are. So it's kind of like, did you not feel comfortable with the artist, Tony? Because you're pretty comfortable articulating breakdowns. Why didn't you say anything? Or did you say something?
Such
Or
a
tell
good
me that
question.
experience.
That's such a good question. You know what? I did not click with her very well, and she was late, and it was scheduled because the photographer worked with this makeup artist. And so the photographer gave me directions to go see this makeup artist at her location. It wasn't near the studio. Um, she was late and took a very long time. She did the girls first because my girls were in the pictures. Um, and we were probably an hour behind our
Mhm.
time schedule.
Yeah,
Um, so I kind of just wanted it done.
we're over it. Yep. It
Yeah.
wasn't the right fit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No, thank you for sharing that because I want more people to feel it's a two-way street that I've noticed. If you're not secure in your skin, it's hard for you to articulate it. Or what we find in today's world too is you're not this exception at all. If you pay too much attention to social media, I can't make you happy. I just can't make you happy because I'm not, I will look like you said, I can't do that. I can't put 10 colors on your eyes, or I cannot remove texture. Um, and then the other part of that is part of our job as professionals is to pull you out a little bit. But if you don't feel comfortable in what I do, you're not going to emote in the photo. So that's really helpful to hear because I've noticed on both sides. Because I'm kind of like Laura. Sometimes I can be very overwhelming to someone. Because I'm
What?
just, well, I know, right? I'm not extra at all. And so, but then I've had to learn that too, that sometimes we don't create the environment for you to feel comfortable to articulate it. So it's a two-way
Yeah.
street. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you're so welcome. It's a good question because I hadn't actually thought about it in that way. Oh, and you said a lot of times people don't feel comfortable in their own skin. Well, it just so happened that the day before, I had a huge cystic acne lesion pop up, like huge pencil eraser size. I was calling the photographer, like, what do we do? Should I reschedule? And he's like, don't worry about it. I got you in Photoshop. The makeup artist will cover it up really well. And so that was a concern of mine too, was like, I was embarrassed and ashamed that I had this huge, huge cyst on my face. Um, and, and she was having to put layers and layers of makeup on. And then I'm like feeling bad because she's having to contaminate her brushes. with this.
So cute. Oh, wait, no, she should. Oh, oh, yeah, no, well, oof, oof, yeah, no. Hygiene's a whole nother conversation. Yeah.
Uh,
Sorry.
no, I'm hoping she cleaned her brushes after.
I bet she did.
I bet she did too.
No, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, here's a totally not clean conversation. Wait, I'll show you this real fast.
Those are my favorite kind. Yeah.
Let me say, because I don't know if you ever grew up and watched the Golden Girls, but
Absolutely.
okay, so one of the like best makeup artists of all times, his name was Maurice Stein, and he has transitioned, but he makes it is so not clean, and I do not care. This bottle is worth everything to me because, again, in my world, so he created Cinema Secrets, and this is the only thing I will ever let my brushes touch. My brushes don't touch water, because it's brushes need to be cleaned in a very specific way. You might get pushback on my response. This is basically Barbicide for your brushes, because it was so there's nothing healthy about it, but it gets the job done, and it sanitizes it, and it protects the brush. Because
Awesome.
and again, this might not be a fan favorite, but I'm just being me and being honest. I believe in natural fur hair, like natural hair brushes. There are a couple of brands that I love, but the older we get, the more sensitive our skin gets. And some of these synthetic fibers can actually be very irritating. So anyway, keeping your brushes clean and in good condition. I mean, this is a $50 fox hair brush. I mean, I
So you
splurged.
shouldn't need to wash your brushes with water ever. Like water and shampoo I've done before.
Yeah, because what are we doing? This is not attached to a living thing, right? So the
Right.
only thing we're doing is getting water in I'm not saying it right, the ferrule of the brush,
Yeah.
and it's attached to glue. So
Yeah.
guess what's going to happen right here? You're never going to get it clean, and it's going to
Yeah.
mildew.
Mm.
So I like Cinema Secrets because it is quick drying, and
Mhm.
I mean, so Dr. Laura's face can handle my brushes. I'll just put it that way. I don't do her
Okay.
makeup 24/7, right?
Yeah.
But so this stuff keeps it clean, and it preserves the brush, and it doesn't get it molded or mildewed down here. And if you're investing in
It
good brushes,
dissolves quickly or dries quickly so that it's not irritating faces.
yes, and I cleaned, like, this is so funny. I'm going off subject, but when I was on that Dallas version of The View, I cleaned one of the hosts. That's one of the first things I do when I teach the lessons. If you're not keeping your kit clean,
Mhm.
and I don't care, I have makeup, like MAC doesn't make certain products anymore. So I still have a very famous shadow from when I was 15. I'm the
Mhm.
only one that uses it, and it's not going to go bad. Like, it's
Yeah.
fine. I'm a
Mhm.
clean human, right? Not
Yeah.
perfect, clean. So that's the first thing I check, is how I cannot tell you how many women put their brushes in with their makeup. And yeah, right. And it's dirty, right? Would you put your toothbrush in there, Tony? Probably
Ew.
not. So
No, I
don't
would
put your
not.
brushes in there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, but what do I do? Okay, so what do I do then? Because sometimes I'm in a hurry and I'll do what I have time to do in front of my mirror. And then if I need to jet and do it on the way, then it all zips up and comes with me in the car at the red lights.
Oh my God, I love how honest you are. I was gonna say two things. I
Keeping
keep
it
my
real.
brushes in like little cups, and I keep them upright because I like to protect my
Yeah.
investments.
Yeah.
But I never travel with them, but well, I use Ziploc bags. I mean, we could talk about the plastic
That's smart.
conversation there.
Yeah.
Or you can buy like just an old school men's cosmetics bag, and
Mhm.
then just keep them separately. Do
Just
not put
keep the
them where
brushes separate from the makeup.
it's
Okay.
just, yeah, just think of them as toothbrushes.
Okay. I like that. I like it. And then, all right, full disclosure, when you travel with makeup, is your makeup bag dirty or is it spotless?
No, mine's a little dirty.
Okay. That makes me feel better about my life. Thank you.
For sure. You can't like every now and then there are some shimmer powders that they're so
Yeah.
finely milled. Like some days my kit will just look dusty from it because it
Yeah.
doesn't matter how much I seal it. It gets
Yeah.
all over one of my Zuka products.
Yeah. I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Okay. Let's see. Da, 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 da. I think we covered just about everything.
So much fun.
This
Tony,
was so fun. And we did amazing on timing.
we did about 90 minutes minus our tech issues.
Yeah. Yeah. Look
Oh, thanks
at
so
us.
much, Tony. I really, 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 I can't wait to see this. And I think
This
that,
will be so fun. I don't know that we have that much to edit out. So if there's not that much to edit, because we didn't really have a ton of dead space. If there's not that much to edit out, we may turn it into 2 episodes. And then I'll share it with you if it's something that you feel like you could put on your
I will,
YouTube channel,
absolutely. I
then
just don't
go
know how
for
to,
it.
is there a way that can you upload it in a way that I can add it to my YouTube channel? I don't know the
Mm,
tech part of that. Otherwise, I can just post and share. I
good
guess I'll have to
question.
see what format the podcast is in.
Yeah. I'll give you access to all of it, and then you can just do whatever is easiest for you.
And do you have a YouTube channel, Tony?
I do. Uh-huh.
Maybe I subscribed
Yeah.
to it
So
already.
all of our stuff goes up on it goes on the podcasting networks, so Apple, Spotify, um, for just the audio version, and then the videos go up on YouTube and Rumble, just in case something ever happens to my YouTube.
Oh my God, I know, right?
In
Oh,
case I make the YouTube bots angry.
do you really?
I
Have you
I
made the
mean,
YouTube bots?
I I I mean, I don't know. I haven't gotten any warnings or anything yet.
I
I
didn't
don't
think about
really
that.
I don't try to spread any fake news or misinformation.
Okay.
However, I also don't shy away from things that are controversial.
Oh, there you are. I just found you. Oh, look at Dr. Laura. Oh, oh, why you couldn't stay in the Crohn's disease. Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm gonna have to watch these.
Yeah,
Oh
you
my
can
gosh,
binge
I
watch my
know.
stuff. There we go. Now
I'm
you know.
excited.
Okay. Yay. Well, thank you so much for doing this. This was so fun.
You're so welcome. This was so, I'm really excited. You and I have a lot more to talk about.
I know. I'm excited about our Credo trip.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I will let you go. I'll let our audience go. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time. And Jennifer, I will see you next time too.
Yes, ma'am. Bye, y'all. Thank you, Dr.
Bye.
Tony.
You bet. That does it for this episode of the Flourish podcast. We hope you enjoyed it and that you had as much fun as I did. We'll catch you next time. Bye.